he was a fraud because he died of the snake poison.
Yeah, I don't know how
Even
that
though
works.
you were doing the least fraudulent thing possible, which is handling a deadly snake and then refusing medical treatment.
So
And then
he was about that shit. It's just the shit he was about wasn't really about that shit.
Yeah.
Sometimes you're going to get got, but he's going to get his more than he's going to get got, though.
Welcome back to Nanodosing. It's Tuesday. It's May 21st, start of Memorial Day week. I always call the week leading up to Memorial Day week. I know it's next Monday. It's technically the week, but this is the week we're all looking forward to. It. Summer's here. Shorts are back, and it's a great time of year. It's a great time of year to drink coffee, too, because Stella Blue now has iced coffee. That's right. They've got brand new formats. They've got coffee that you can cold filter yourself and make it home, and they're delicious, and it's great for a nice summer day. If it's hot outside, I would recommend steeping your own Stella Blue coffee to make yourself some cold brew. How about that? Stella Blue's coffee's delicious roasts are available in cold brew, K-Cups, ground, and whole bean formats to seamlessly fit into your morning coffee routine, and every bag sold helps to save dogs. Check it out now. Go to StellaBlueCoffee.com and use promo code MACRO. Get 20% off your order of $25 or more. Take back your morning with Stella Blue Coffee. All right, we're back. We got Arian, myself, Big T, Mad Dog, McKenzie. It's a Nanodose, keeping it short, keeping it sweet. There's actually one thing and one thing only that I want to start out today's show with, and that's Scottie Scheffler. I want to talk about Scottie Scheffler. I've talked about it a little bit. I want to hear what you guys thought when you woke up on Friday morning and Scottie Scheffler has been arrested, handcuffed, taken to jail, charged with a second-degree felony assault on a police officer, and then out of jail in time to make his tea time.
I woke up earlier than I normally do on Friday. I woke up at like 6:45, and I had a ton of text messages, which I normally, who's awake. And then I start reading through them. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And he sure did. How has the body cam footage still not been released? Because I read that every Louisville police officer has a body cam.
He apparently did not activate his body cam.
Oh, I didn't see that.
That's what I believe the mayor said, that there's no body cam footage available, which is, I'm so mad that there's not any body cam footage.
Well, you don't believe that, right?
I don't. I think what happened was the officer had a little rush of blood to the head, got into big officer power trip mode. He was wearing a yellow jacket, which looked like a parking attendant jacket. I saw pictures of the jackets that the police were wearing. They're like high vis, they're yellow, but they're not, you wouldn't clearly know, especially if it was raining outside, that that's definitely a cop that's talking to you. So I think the officer yelled at Scottie, didn't realize that Scottie was in one of the courtesy vehicles that was provided by the tournament.
Don't those have like the logo on them though?
Yeah, they do.
I guess it was very early in the morning, maybe, but like, yeah, crazy.
And then I think the officer got embarrassed because Scottie drove around him, and then he tried to grab onto the car, ran after the car. I think he fell down maybe as he was reaching out and grabbing for the car, and then he said that Scottie basically dragged him for 10 yards and completely damaged his pants.
Pants were damaged beyond repair.
Pants valued at
$80.
$89 were damaged beyond repair. And then I think he got embarrassed after this whole thing happened and his name got out there. And I think ultimately, my guess is that they're going to drop the charges against him.
They said
if I had to bet,
they were going to today or tomorrow, I think.
If I had to bet, that's what they'll end up doing. But Scottie Scheffler is just the funniest person for this to happen to, because he's like so boring and nice.
Also, they made him put on the orange jumpsuit to take his mugshot.
He should have golfed in that.
That would have been incredible.
He should have kept that on and gone to the golf course. Can you imagine?
That'd be so awesome.
Friday orange.
I saw somebody say that they think he may have actually requested that to not have a sponsor's logo in his mugshot.
Oh, to put that on.
Yes.
That's such a Scottie Scheffler move. Like, hey, I don't want to like get the good people at Nike involved in this. Can you give me the orange one?
Because a reporter who covers like crime in Louisville said they never do that if they know you're getting released.
Has anybody made one that has the Texas Longhorn logo on that?
That'd be good.
That'd be a good one. Just file that away for college football season.
You do need to lean into this, like, but he won't because he's such like a good dude. Like he needs to sell. Nike needs to sell like free Scottie merch. That shit would fly off the fly off the shelves.
The fact that he did not wear an orange polo throughout the weekend was criminal. No pun intended.
He just too nice, man. Which is also another thing. Is like I'm listening to the media around it, and I was just like, all right, man, okay, like he got to shit happens, bro. We don't got to keep drumming this up. Like it was just I don't know, man. The whole couldn't have happened to a nicer guy shit. I don't know. That could be the pessimist in me, but I'm like he did something wrong. He did, you know what I'm saying? Like it's not. Am I alone there? I might be.
Oh, so you're pro cop in this?
I'm not pro cop. I'm just saying. Like,
won't someone think of the police?
Wait till all the facts come out.
I just want to hear everything because, like, for a dude to jump on your car, you got to do something wrong.
I don't disagree with that. I was the facts of the case did seem very odd.
Yeah, so I think what's more likely to happen is like he was like, look, there's obviously something going on. Let me go around it. And maybe he misread one of the, the commands of the officer, but obviously he probably like hopped the curb or went on the, what I'm saying, cross the place he shouldn't have crossed. And the dude was saying stop, but obviously he didn't stop. Maybe didn't see him. I'll give him that. But he did something for a man to jump on your car. Like I'm not pro cop, but cops don't generally just jump on cars. You know what I mean? That's not in their pay grade. And I don't know what he was thinking jumping on a car in the first place. Like what a weirdo move. Like you're not gonna stop it, bro. The whole shit is weird to me, but I just want to see all the facts of the case. I mean, I love Scottie. He's a great dude, but I definitely want to see the full report and everything that comes out.
I did not have Arian Foster pegged as a wait for all the facts to come out.
Yeah.
What you mean? That's always my stance. What do you mean?
Die a hero or live long enough to see yourself become the villain.
Wait till all the facts come out. Back to blue, thin blue line.
See, we ain't doing that. Don't turn it into a back to blue thing. I just want to see what happened. I don't know.
I think
I'm indifferent. I'm indifferent.
The cop picked the worst player to do this to.
Yeah, for sure.
The worst player, because everything that everyone knows about Scottie, I think like Scottie, Max Homa would probably be up there too. Is just like nice guys that would never try to run somebody over with their car.
But see, and I think that's what's bothered me the most. If Brooks Koepka has the situation, the narrative is completely different. If any live player actually did this, the narrative is completely different in the media. That's what's rubbing me the wrong way. It's just something don't smell right. That's all. I'm not pro cop. I'm just saying.
I think if this happened to Max Homa, it would be like you guys would have such a spin on it, PFT. Like,
I would have driven. I would have flown to Louisville.
Yeah, it would have been a whole different game. Like perverts would have come out from the woodwork to save this man.
I would have been like the cartel, and I would have broken Max Homa out of prison in Louisville. Yeah, I would have done that. I would have or died trying. But the fact that it was Scottie is just like you're right though, Arian. If it was anybody if it was Bryson that did this,
God. Yeah.
If it was Phil that did this,
even worse.
That would have been incredible.
That would have been awesome, right?
Imagine Greg Norman. Greg Norman, this shit happened to.
Yeah,
we're talking about an entirely different picture that's being painted, and I'm just saying.
Yeah, you're right. I think that would have. It's funny, like which league you play for in golf impacts whether or not people think you're innocent of felony assault on a police officer.
I tell you what,
that's the world that we're in right now.
For the much maligned X, though, this reminded us. I mean, that was a top 5 day all time on Twitter/X.
It was, yeah. It was a great morning because the facts were coming out, or the information was slowly trickling out as the morning progressed. It started out like Scottie Scheffler arrested, and then everyone's like, what the fuck? And then Darlington puts out the video like an hour later. It's like, I actually have footage of the arrest. Shout out to Jeff Darlington, by the way.
So that video, bro, was so I laughed during that video. Dog,
I did too.
Scottie turned around like, help me. Like,
will you please help me?
What the fuck is he supposed to do?
Yeah, and then the cop looks at Darlington and is like, this man's going to jail and there's ain't nothing you can do about it. But shout out to Jeff Darlington, because think about it in an alternate world, like alternate timeline. Jeff Darlington is not there, or Jeff Darlington's in the car, does not get out of the car to see what's going on, doesn't get the video, doesn't get like a firsthand eyewitness account of it. The narrative around what happened with Scottie is probably a lot different. There would probably be some people that would be more inclined to think that Scottie did something very, very wrong, that Scottie fucked up, and he gets arrested. When he gets that charge slapped on him, a felony charge, people are going to be like, what the hell happened? But the fact that Darlington stepped out of the car, got the video, and was talking to him and had all that information right away, right when it happened, like Scottie owes Jeff Darlington, he owes him more than his caddy. Like Jeff Darlington should get like 20% of Scottie Scheffler's future earnings.
Well, that's the other thing. Scottie Scheffler's caddy might be the most important guy in all of sports.
Yep.
Because I bet, so Scottie gets out of jail, shows up to the course. Was it on 1 or 2 that he holed out?
He holed out on one on Thursday, and then on Friday after he got arrested, he hit it to within like a foot.
That's right. Okay, so it was that shot where I was like, this guy's for sure. He's so dialed. He's winning.
Yeah.
So I bet him. And then on Saturday, his caddy had to go to his son's graduation, I think, and Scottie played the worst round he's ever played. And then he still finished top 10.
He's a caddy merchant. That's what they're saying.
Could be.
Yeah, and yeah, so the caddy was very, very important. My theory about Scottie and the arrest and why he played so well on Friday and then so bad on Saturday is just like last show we talked about how fun it is to get detained and get arrested, like fucking around.
It's got to be a
fun.
high.
It's such a high. So he gets out of jail. Everyone's excited to see him. He gets like a hero's welcome back to Valhalla, and everyone's clapping it up. Go Scottie, free Scottie. He's got all this adrenaline going. He was just in jail. He feels kind of like a badass. I don't care if you're Scottie Scheffler or who you are. You feel good after you get arrested, right? If you get out, you feel good. So he's riding that wave all day on Friday, and then he gets home and he goes, back to his house, and then reality starts to sink in. It's like, oh, I'm staring down a felony charge, and my sponsorships might be in jeopardy. Who knows what's going to happen with that? And then he wakes up the next morning after probably a bad night's sleep, and then reality is very much a part of his life now, where it's like you are potentially a felon right now, Scottie. And then Saturday is the day where you've had all that time to think about it, and it weighs on you a little bit heavier, and you can't be as focused. But on Friday, you're just like, fuck yeah, this rocks. Let me out of jail, put me on the course, let's go.
I don't hate that theory. It's got to be tough. Knowing that, I always liken it to like when I was a kid, and like if I had a bad grade or something, I would have that gut wrenching butterfly that wouldn't go. Like if I knew the report cards were coming home that day,
yeah,
and I know I had some D's or something like that, and I had to go face my dad, who was an asshole at the time. Shout out to Growth and Change, you're my guy. But it was just a horrible situation every time I had a bad report card. And it's that whole day, just that butterfly feeling of like, man, something just ain't right. That's a similar feeling I imagine facing a felony charge.
Yeah, just knowing that you're gonna have to deal with that. And I think that they will drop the charges, and I don't think he's gonna end up losing any sponsorships. But it's still something that he's probably thinking about when he's sitting in that jail cell. Like, this is not how I envision my life going. But yeah, maybe the funniest person for that to happen to, like the person that everybody across the board just like, this guy is too boring to ever do anything to get arrested for. I don't get it. So yeah, it pays to be boring, I guess.
Yeah, but shout out to Xander, man. That got all overshadowed, but that was his first major win. I've been rooting for him for a long time. So shout out to Xander. I will butcher his last name.
Shoffley.
Yeah.
I just know him as the guy that's always next to Patrick Cantlay on the leaderboard.
He's been second for a long time, but I think this is his first win. So,
yep.
I saw a story about him and Patrick Cantlay. Did you see that when they were in college?
No.
I forget where Xander went, but Cantlay, I believe, went to UCLA, and Shoffley's coach like made him play with him because Cantlay, I think, was like the #1 amateur in the world, and Cantlay beat him by like 15 strokes. And Schauffele was like, that's when I decided I was going to get a lot better at golf.
Oh, wow. So, like, seeing somebody else did it motivated him.
I think so, yeah.
That's cool. Good for him.
Yeah, good for him.
Yeah,
good for him. That course was Mickey Mouse, though.
Oh,
yeah.
Crazy. Did you see I sent y'all the stat that that was the lowest score ever in a PGA championship.
Yep.
The next closest was like 280 strokes away.
Yep.
This one, the field was like 240 under, and the next close one, they were like 40 over.
There was some tough holes, though. I think overall it was probably an easier course. Like there was a couple 200-yard par threes. There was that one par 4 that was on an island green, so you had to lay up. It wasn't the easiest course, but for them guys, they murdered that course.
It was a bloodbath.
Yeah,
it was bad. All right, so that's golf talk. Wrapping up the tournament. I wonder what's going to happen with Scottie this week. I hope he's doing okay. I hope they do drop the charges, although it'd be very funny to see this play out in a court of law. So, I don't know. Either give me the body cam footage or get it out of my face. That's what I say.
I'm with that.
Other big news. This happened yesterday. It might have happened the day before, but they just fully announced it on Sunday. The president of Iran is dead.
See you, bozo.
Big T smoking on that Iran pack right now.
On that
Butcher of
top 5 to
Tehran.
9.
We got him.
Someone
Someone got him.
Someone got him. Helicopter got him. So a helicopter crashed, and there's all sorts of speculation about what happened. I think it was a couple hours after it crashed, it was the Israel Department of War, I believe, just tweeted out a helicopter emoji.
Oh, I hadn't seen that.
Ain't no way, bro.
Yeah, let me pull this up here.
Jeez.
Did I get got? Maybe I got got, but there were some people saying that they tweeted it out before the helicopter crash, which didn't happen.
I'm not finding this. Maybe you can send it to me.
Okay, Israel War Room, I guess.
That sounds like a gossip page.
Is it? Yeah, like Shade Room.
Yeah.
Let's see. I'm pulling up the profile right now. Yeah, it's a nonprofit. Yeah, it's like a legitimate organization.
So it's a U.S. based organization.
Okay, so it's not actually the Israeli
But
government.
it is a real thing.
But so a lot of people are speculating, is this the U.S. that did it? Is it Israel that did it? Because obviously Iran is funding Hamas, and they're kind of fully interlocked in the war going on in the Middle East. They sent all those drones over and missiles and shit. So people are speculating, was it the U.S.? Was it Israel that did it? Nobody knows what happened yet. A helicopter crashed. But it would make sense that you would, if you were Israel, that you would celebrate that.
I'm not, overly torn up that this guy died, but getting in a helicopter at this point, you got to be a psychopath. The fact that we let our presidents get in a helicopter is crazy.
It is nuts, right?
They crash all the time.
Yeah, I agree. I'm never going to fly in a helicopter.
Never.
Deathly afraid of helicopters.
Never.
It seems like the least safe mode of travel. I bet you if you looked it up, though, it's probably going to be something stupid like, actually, your car. Actually, you're 5 times more likely to die in a car accident.
Helicopter crash statistics.
Hot air balloon might be
Well, I'm going to
there.
be infinitely more likely to die in a car crash because I'm never getting in a helicopter.
Fact.
When looking at aviation crash statistics, it's important to know that these accidents are calculated by how many accidents occur for every 100,000 hours flown. From the year 2016 to 17, fatal helicopter accidents rates jumped from 0.54 accidents per every 100,000 flight hours to 0.6 accidents per every 100,000 flight hours.
So they're getting less safe?
This number increased again in 2018 to 0.72 fatal accidents
What?
for every 100,000 hours. Additionally, the number of fatalities per 100,000 flight hours rose from 1.02 in 2017 to 1.64 in 2018. So yeah, it looks like
They're going up by 60% a year.
Is Boeing making helicopters now? The fuck is going on?
I don't know, man. I've definitely been in a helicopter and never really felt unsafe. I had a shorty who I used to be with, and we went from Houston to Galveston, which is like a 45-minute drive, maybe like, I don't know, 15, 20-minute helicopter ride.
That's what Kobe was doing. He's trying to beat the traffic.
Yeah, but he it was unsafe what they did. I think the official report was like they flew into some fog that they shouldn't have or something like that.
Yeah, something, I forget. But I think helicopters are subject to more, because they fly so much lower, obviously, they're subject to more hazards.
Yep.
Could be the case. That could be the case. Yeah, I mean, I'm not doing it anytime soon, so.
Yeah, don't get in a helicopter.
So I'm looking up statistics for the most dangerous ways to travel in the U.S. And I'm seeing passenger fatalities per billion passenger miles in the United States. Number 1.
Walking in Chicago.
No.
Oh.
Number 1, motorcycle.
Yeah,
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Also, I'm not going to drive a motorcycle. Never going to have. You're never going to catch me driving one of those
That
things.
one's at least, I mean, if you, it's on you if you fuck up, probably.
That's true.
I can live, if I make a mistake, I can live with that.
Well, no, you might not.
Well, sure, but I can, it's like when they asked Stanley in the office what would have happened if we weren't here and you had your heart attack. He's like, I would have died. They're like, are you okay with that? He said, I'm okay with the logic of it. So if I die driving a motorcycle, fine. But if someone else kills me, then I'm going to be pissed.
Yeah, that's true. If somebody cuts you off. Same with a bicycle. Same with, like, if you bike, I used to bike in the city a lot, that might be more dangerous in New York, riding a bicycle.
It's way more dangerous here.
You think so?
The bike lanes here are like so horrible, and they merge into traffic at certain points, because I would bike to the other office when we were in the old one. And New York, all the bike lanes are clearly defined. They're everywhere. It's way better.
So if I was riding a bike and some asshole like steered into the bike lane and hit me, then that would be infuriating, because it's like you were doing everything the right way. And think about how many times some asshole in traffic does something and almost makes you wreck. If you're on a bike, on a motorcycle, chances are it's not, you're going to have a pretty bad injury, at least if you get hit by a car. So bicycles, motorcycles, hot air balloons have to be up there too. Hot air balloons are just, they feel like the least safe form of transportation ever, because you can't steer them. You're just subject to the mercy of the winds.
I would never get on a motorcycle, but there is a Instagram account of this guy who takes his 2 chihuahuas on his motorcycle and he puts them in motorcycle helmets.
That's very cute.
And it's the cutest thing I've ever seen in my whole life.
Yeah, that's great.
I had a motorcycle
love that
in
guy.
2017 or 18, and I got rid of it because it was just so dangerous. I crashed twice on it.
You crashed your motorcycle twice?
Yeah, I was just learning how to ride, and I didn't really understand, like, you don't really know how to trust your turns until you, like, build up some rapport with your skill set. So, like, turning isn't just turning the wheel. You got to actually lean. And that leaning is like, the momentum will take you through the turn, but it just doesn't feel like it at first. And so there was like a first 2 weeks, I had laid it down twice and just like rolled off, because I was like, this is tough. I got the hang of it and I could ride it then. But then I would go on, like, I don't know, the freeway or something like that. And it was fun and it was freeing, but just the anxiety from, like, all it takes is one asshole to clip me and I die. You know what I mean? And I could never get over that feeling of, I was taught to, like, be a defensive driver at first. And so, like, I've never gotten a wreck before, but, like, I'm always aware of what's going on and people are just doing dumb shit all the time. And so I just never trusted it, man. So I got rid of it.
Yeah, that's probably a smart move.
It's tough.
Probably a smart move. I found a chart right here of the safest and least safe places to travel, or modes of transportation, like how likely you are to die. There's a death index that's associated with these. So the safest is airlines. Airlines are statistically the safest way to travel. So they have a death index of 1, because they're kind of like the base level for this chart. So Amtrak, you're 20 times more likely to die on Amtrak or intercity rail than you are on an airline.
Yeah, but I like the vibes of Amtrak.
You also don't have to wait for security. That's the price that you pay.
Which feels, while it is great, seems like there should be something. Like, you just walk through Penn Station and then get on the train.
Yeah.
I feel like there should be something.
There's a guy that sometimes stands at the top of the escalator and he has a gun.
Okay.
And he's there.
Got it.
So they do that sometimes. I wonder if they're also counting people that jump in front of trains in terms of the least safe ways to travel. But anyways, they have a death index of 20 on intercity rail. That's 20 times higher than airlines. After that is charter flights. Charter flights you're 34 times more likely to die than you are on an airline. So the question is, does the WNBA, are they trying to kill their franchises by making them charter flights now? Let's have the conversation.
Interesting.
And then mass transit. So you got rail and buses. You're 50 times more likely to die on those than you are on an airline.
Really?
Yep. Non-scheduled charter flights, I don't know what that is, 60 times. Helicopter flights, you are 63 times more likely to die in a helicopter than you are on an airline. 63 times.
That feels low.
Does it?
I mean, when was the last commercial airline crash you heard of?
I don't want to know.
Malaysian Airlines?
I don't want to know.
Was that before or after the 737 MAX crashes?
You guys are assholes.
Why?
I don't want to know. I get anxiety on flights, and the next flight I'm gonna hop on will be thinking of this fucking conversation.
Okay, but there are thousands of flights a day, and there's one crash every 15 years.
Well aware of the probability, but it's just something like, like when somebody tells you, think about breathing. Now I just did it to myself.
Now everyone out there is so mad at you because they're thinking about their breathing.
Now I have to fucking manually breathe right now. But it's the same thing. If I hop on a flight, I already got anxiety on planes, and now I don't be thinking about it. So I don't want to know.
Listen, sit in your cushy first class seat and go sleep.
People die in the first class like they do in the back, bro. Same shit. We all on the same death bullet.
Sometimes I watch airline crash videos on airplanes.
Are you for real?
That's insane, dog.
That's wild.
Not like videos of like security cameras of an airline crashing, but I like to watch a lot of aviation videos. So sometimes there'll be like a Mayday episode that comes on. It's like, oh, this flight crashed in the Everglades. Here's why. And then they reused a bunch of those parts from that plane and put them on new planes. And now the people that got the old parts from the old airplane that crashed, sometimes they see ghosts on their airplane of the people that were on that first flight. These are all facts.
The only thing I do wish they wouldn't do is when your flight gets delayed and the captain comes on, he's like, ladies and gentlemen, sorry for the quick delay here. Our carburetor spark tube is just a little messed up. We're going to get a new one here in 5 minutes and should have you on your way to Houston shortly. Thank you for your patience and thank you for flying American Airlines. I would rather you just not tell me that the spark tube is fucked up. Mm-hmm. And just fix it, because 5 minutes doesn't feel like enough time to fix your thing.
The spark tube, yeah. That usually takes a couple hours at least, right? If you do a good job on it.
Yeah, just tell me we're delayed.
Yeah, the pilot voice is really interesting. Like every pilot has.
How do they teach that?
I think
in
they do.
Pilot school.
I think they do. Yeah.
On the ground there in Atlanta, it's about 78 degrees. Pretty good visibility. 5 mile an hour winds out of the southwest. Once again, we thank you for choosing Delta Airlines. And hope you have a great day.
Yeah, they all have the same. They all start with.
You guys just sound like Obama.
The Obama, yeah.
Yeah, Obama might be a pilot.
It's kind of like
we're going to Chicago. Great city.
It's kind of like
no smoking. No smoking on the plane.
The newscaster infliction. Like I've always wondered, like why they do that. Like today at 9, the issue at hand was the car was dry. Like you know what I'm saying? That the point in which they choose to.
Oh, we learned about that in journalism school.
Why do they do that?
I think it's just to seem more engaged and.
You end the sentence on an up.
Cheery.
Oh, you do? It's always on the up.
Like.
There's a murder tonight.
Yeah.
When did the news just become like murder update?
No, it's literally the worst.
If it bleeds, it leads.
Yeah, but that's
Blood
like
sells.
Across the country. 3 murders.
Yep.
Hey, Washington, D.C. residents, find out why 6 Silver Spring couples were murdered this past year.
I mean, it does seem like an important thing to update people on.
Yeah, but it's like it's just a murder show. If you like watching the news, just say you like to hear about more murders.
And kidnapping.
I mean, what else is going on in most local news?
I don't know, there's politics, there's sports,
high
there's
schools.
High school news. You got real estate deals going on. You got local people that end up making good for themselves in various vocations. You can do something nice.
Make your various vocation show. See what kind of ratings it does.
Yeah. Well, this kid here from Loudoun County ended up becoming a surgeon. We're gonna tune into that. Yeah. You're right. If it was that option or 7 people murdered, I'm watching 7 people murdered.
I've always I do not envy the jobs of reporters who are like, I'm currently standing where the murder took place just 90 minutes ago.
Yeah.
That seems like do they get hazard pay?
I don't know. Yeah, and then there's some reporters that have like no shame that are vultures. They'll just like go up to the door and they knock on the door and they're like, "Hey, we'd like to talk to you about your son who was just murdered." And they're like, and then they do the interview like through the door. And the person's like, "Can you please just leave? We're trying to grieve my son." They're like, "Do you have any comment for the police?" "No, we're sad." That's got to be.
It's like live.
Do you have to do that if you're a reporter? Do they teach that in journalism school?
You generally are maybe not. That's obviously a different story. But like, if you're writing about someone or doing something, you should ask them for comment. Yes,
You should, yeah, but like going up and knocking on a door.
that's
you know,
obviously a gray area. But
yeah, and then they have that inflection they put on their voice, and they also have the non-regional dialect that they all practice. So what part of the country do they try to sound like they're from? Is it
I think Midwest.
Midwest? I've always heard Midwest and Pacific Northwest. Because Pacific Northwest doesn't have an accent, apparently.
yeah,
was about to say,
Midwest has
do
some
they have
strong
one?
accents. Chicago.
But that's Chicago. I don't think that's like Midwest. Like I don't have.
Ohio.
Wait, do I have an accent?
Ohio, Wisconsin, Minnesota. They all have an accent for sure.
Yeah, I would say Ohio is the one that doesn't really have.
Yeah, I feel like I don't have a lot going on, accent wise.
No.
Well, neither do you, PFT.
I've had people that tell me I say some words differently. Like when I did that dialect quiz that the New York Times put out a few years ago, it nailed me. It put me like one town over from where I grew up. And it's because how you
That's
pronounce
crazy.
certain words and how like what words you use to describe things like Coke, pop, soda, or like tennis shoes as opposed to sneakers, as opposed to trainers, as opposed to basketball shoes. Like what would you call like a sporty pair of just generally athletic shoes?
Tennis
Tennis
shoes.
shoes.
So you guys call
Sneakers.
them tennis shoes. You call them sneakers.
Depends on the
Sneakers are a
sport.
different thing to me.
Yeah, it depends on the sport.
Like a cross trainer, something that you can use to run,
Yeah,
Work
we
out
call
in.
those like running shoes.
running shoes. That's probably another one on there. Yeah. But
Yeah,
yeah, I
tennis shoes is more for like a formal, like would you like formally call like all shoes that are sports? Like, but we never really used that. We were like more specific for the sport.
Yeah. Tennis shoes, it's just what I grew up saying, but I never used them to play tennis.
Yeah, no, I never played tennis.
I was actually kind of nice at tennis back in the day, bro. I ain't gonna lie.
Were you really?
Yeah, I won my we had a doubles thing. I won my little summer camp thing. Yeah, I was nice though. The athlete.
Could you serve?
Of course.
That's the hard part.
It can take some getting used to. I got a homie now who like he has an app. There's an app for people who want to find somebody to play tennis with, and like you meet up, and so it's like Tinder for tennis. Like you know, say you just swipe, and then you find people that want to play tennis. You go meet up at a place and you play.
That's very cute. That's
It's pretty
adorable.
dope. It's pretty dope. Yeah, he met a couple shorties on there actually.
I'm in a tennis phase right now, not physically, just in a aesthetic sense.
What does that mean?
Is that
I
because you
see.
saw the Zendaya movie?
Yep, I saw Challengers, and it has sent me into a whirlwind.
Okay,
Of
so I want to know what your tennis phase is because can I guess what your tennis phase is? Wait,
Yeah.
wait, don't say anything. I think you saying you're in a tennis phase right now means that you are seeking out and watching more online content of people wearing tennis clothes.
Not even that. It's more that those two boys in that movie are very handsome, and so I've just been watching a lot of them playing tennis over and over and over again.
I don't think that's a tennis phase, yo.
And I've been wearing tennis skirts.
I think you just sounds just horny, man.
Yeah, I think you're just horny for tennis players.
No, but not tennis players, because I don't really. Well, there's like only one boy that I know, like that play, or man, I guess, that plays like professional tennis, like that I know besides like the
You know-
Rafael Nadal.
You know a professional tennis player?
No, I'm not.
No,
not,
one
no,
that she knows
like,
of. Like
Oh,
could
okay.
name, which is who?
Ben Shelton.
Why him?
I'm gonna look up Ben Shelton real quick. See what this guy looks like.
He's young,
How young?
like 21.
Oh yeah, he's 21.
Did I nail that?
Yep.
Oh shit. Challengers has sent me into a tailspin.
Oh, he does. You like this guy because he does the Taylor Swift heart.
Oh, I didn't even know he did that. That just gives me more reason to love that guy.
He's got a TikTok haircut.
Yeah, he does. Yeah. Well, that's like every 21-year-old has that.
Yeah, they all have the TikTok haircut.
What the fuck is the TikTok haircut?
Oh, you know the TikTok.
It's like the
haircut.
evolution of the Justin Bieber hair swoop.
Like Bama bangs.
Yeah, except like curly.
Curly on top, short on the side haircut.
Oh, like hanging down in front of their face a little bit.
Y'all are funny, man. I just looked.
You guys should all see Challengers.
He has a taper.
It's not that strong of a taper, though.
That's what this is.
What if Bell and Shelton
Short on the
got a
side,
low
short on the back,
taper
and you fade it.
fade?
Take-
No. Challengers has sent me into it. I think I need to start playing tennis. If that's what happens when you play tennis.
You can't play tennis anymore. If you show up at a tennis court, they make you play pickleball. There's
There's a war.
It's like probably 8 or 10 pickleball courts near my apartment, and every time I walked by, filled to the gills.
Oh yeah, the one that you're talking about is like prime
Not a spot open.
pickleball.
If
There
you
is,
wanted to play pickleball, you can't.
We also live in
Yeah.
like pickleball central.
No one can play pickleball anymore.
Right.
Not even tennis players.
Yeah.
What about paddle? There's a war going on behind the scenes between paddle players and pickleball players.
I'm not familiar
What's
with
paddle?
paddle.
Paddle is like shrunk down. They're very similar sports, but if a paddle person heard you say that, they'd be like, they're actually not similar at all. You play on a shrunken down tennis court. You have a different racket, a different ball, and the difference between that and pickleball is you're like in a cage. So the cage,
okay.
the cage is in bounds. You can hit the ball.
Yeah.
Off
I know
the
what you're
cage.
talking about.
Yeah,
So it's hipster pickleball, which is hipster tennis.
I would say it's like more hardcore paddle or pickleball.
Okay, yeah, I guess that makes sense.
Because the court also is, it's like kind of like a cheese grater type surface, so you don't want to fall or dive on it at all. So it's like kind of intense.
Interesting. Okay, so pickleball is hipster paddleball.
Yes, well, in a way, you're being a hipster paddle player by saying that, because the paddleball people will be like, actually, paddle was invented before pickleball, so they become hipsters.
This is a whole web of.
I don't know if you want to actually involve yourself in this entire
I do not.
community.
I do not.
But yeah, there's a war going on right now that we don't know about. But paddle players and pickleball players and tennis players, they all fucking hate
Why
each
won't
other.
the news cover this war? You know,
They should.
Yeah.
They should. Why can't we send $40 billion to paddle?
we've apparently got it just sitting around. If you're in a war, we would love to send you billions of dollars.
That's there's nothing more American than that. Yeah, the war on Christmas is getting B-2 bombers. But yeah, so tennis players, Mad Dog.
Just specifically those two that are in that movie.
Okay, all right. So you like those,
Which
two
are
men.
not tennis players. It feels important to mention. They're
No,
just
but
actors.
they play the role very well.
What was the last phase you were in before tennis? Was it
God.
Oppenheimer? You were in like
No,
into 1950s nerds.
No. Oh God. Actually, let me think. Okay. I'm in I'll guess just specifically challengers. Before that, Mackenzie and I are in this together. Is hot NFL players.
Oh, that's a brand new one. Wow.
Well,
That's a pretty untapped market.
I also like how you just dragged Mackenzie into this. She was just over there minding her own business. You're like, well, Mackenzie thinks NFL players are hot.
No, Mackenzie and I, right? No, since the
She
Travis
said
Kelce thing, Mackenzie and I are like, well, Travis is taken, Jason is taken, but that same type, hot NFL player that loves his mother.
Okay. So McNabb.
Oh no, not like that. But hot NFL player is the phase before that.
Okay, so
But not
what do you guys think about Harrison Butker?
Yeah, not him. I was gonna say
No.
not him.
You don't think he's attractive?
And there is nothing. No.
He's an attractive man physically.
No, he's not even. He looks like a mega church pastor. Like he doesn't have anything. He doesn't have any flavor to
You're
him.
talking like one too.
Yeah, well, yeah. But
Remember
like,
when Vic Beasley said he wanted to quit playing in the NFL so he could go be a pastor?
I don't remember that.
Oh
I
yeah,
don't remember this either.
he was trash, and they were like, the Falcons like weren't going to pick up his 5th year or whatever, and he was like, well, I just want to go be a pastor anyway.
That
Did
would
he
be the
actually do
first
that?
time.
I don't know. He's not playing anymore. I don't think.
Glenn Coffee did that as well. He was a 3rd round pick from Alabama. I think he went to San Francisco, and I think after his first contract, he was like, "I want to go be a pastor."
Reggie White.
Yeah,
there are multiple examples of this.
Yeah.
man.
No,
Vic
Harrison Butker's
Beasley.
off my list.
Vic Beasley was probably like, if I just say I want to be a pastor, people will think that I'm as good as Reggie White.
So this is from Peter King in August of 2020. Was told by a Falcons person that Vic Beasley's ultimate goal is to be the pastor of a large church. Atlanta told him if he plays at a high level for a few more years, he can build the biggest church in the South. So apparently they did pick up his option, and they knew that when they did it. They knew that his goal was to be a preacher, and then he was really bad.
He's a bad preacher?
No, football player. I hope he's a great preacher.
Have you guys ever had a bad preacher?
Yes.
So I haven't been in church enough, and when I used to go to meeting, it was Quaker. So basically, people just sat around until one of them talked, and then there would always be somebody saying something stupid. So we were all kind of like preachers in our own way. But what is it like having a bad preacher, and do people just start slowly leaving that church and going somewhere else, or
No.
are they just like, well, we're stuck with this guy?
Yeah. That's what happened at mine. Like, it's like you're more bought into the like, I'm Catholic, so it's like a parish. Like, you're more bought into the parish, so then a priest comes, he sucks, and you're like, okay, I kind of just got to wait this out.
Some churches you can vote him out.
Not mine.
So you just, when you say wait them out, what does that mean?
Like, you just kind of, you've sealed your fate a little bit. Like, I don't know people that were at my parish. If I'm thinking of one certain priest that was at our parish that sucked, and he was really mean, and he'd yell at you. There was really nothing you could do, so you just kind of have to wait it out. Slowly, people started to leave, but then it was like, you kind of just hoped that it would get better. Or you kind of just were like, this is what it is.
Like, this church is just going to be a shitty experience?
Yeah, I mean, I'm like Catholic. It's not like church is this like super fun experience, even if you have a fun priest.
So it's almost like the worse it gets, the more you feel like you're really earning your stripes from God.
Yeah, probably. I was younger when this was happening, and I kind of just like told my mom, I was like, I don't really want to go anymore. Yeah, no. And then I guess actually now that I think about it, we left that place. So I think eventually you just get, depending on how bad the guy is for what he does.
So why was this guy bad?
He was really mean. He was like my grade school priest. So I had him for we were there for 9-10 years. And then he started he didn't do anything like inappropriate, but like he just was really mean. I have to make that known. Was really mean.
It's a wild.
Yeah.
Crazy that you have to say that.
But
Yeah.
like you do. He was just really, really mean, and like would kind of yell at you, and then just was like rude and not very, in my opinion, godly. And then our grade school shut down because of him, because everyone was leaving.
He was so bad, he was just such an asshole that people were like, yeah, the school doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah, I was the last graduating class for my grade school. Like, I was the last people out of there.
That rocks.
Yeah. And then my graduation night, my dad and him almost got in a fist fight.
How'd that happen?
The priest said something, maybe a fist fight. They got in a verbal argument. The priest said something during like our little graduation mass that must have been bad enough that my dad got pissed, and my dad like found him outside and was like, what the fuck? And they got in like in a verbal altercation.
What did he say?
I would like to know what he said.
Yeah. Oh God. I don't remember. It was, I mean.
Text your dad. I kind of want to know.
Okay, I'll text him.
Yeah, it would be such a bummer if you were just like, I have a shitty priest, and the next like 20 years of my life, I'm just going to keep going to this guy and listen to this guy talk for an hour every Sunday.
Did y'all see the Pope's interview?
Yeah.
I did not. No.
Oh.
What's he talking about?
A whole lot of
Mumbo jumbo?
yeah.
Is he into nonsense?
Oh, he's got some nonsense.
The Pope's into nonsense now?
Yeah.
But
What
if
was
you're
he
Catholic, you're not allowed to say that the Pope's wrong, right?
I don't know.
You can.
Really? What about the whole concept of, was it papal infallibility?
I mean, you can not agree with him.
I thought that whatever the Pope said, you had to be like, yep, that's right.
Not in my.
Papal
infallibility is a dogma of the Catholic
God?
Church, which states that in the virtue of.
Maybe modern Catholics don't believe that.
I don't
know.
I've never heard of that, but it says papal infallibility is a dogma of the Catholic Church, which states that in virtue of the promise of Jesus to Peter, the Pope, when he speaks ex cathedra, is preserved from the possibility of error on doctrine initially given to the Apostolic Church and handed down in Scripture and tradition.
Okay, so I think what that means is ex cathedra. I'm going to try to guess what Latin is. That means in the church.
Oh, I would think ex cathedra is out of the church.
I think ex is in.
Oh, yeah, from the throne.
Yeah, so when he's in the church, whatever he says from the church, that's correct. When he does an interview with who is this?
60 Minutes.
The Pope's doing interviews of 60 Minutes?
Yeah.
That's wild. I think when he like goes up, when he freestyles.
He loves attention.
He does.
Yeah.
He loves
He's
being.
87.
I'm sure he reached out to them.
Oh, the Pope loves attention? No shit.
But more so that, I mean, you've seen this guy way more than the others.
No.
It's just
Benedict was out and
technology,
about.
bro.
Yeah, it's technology.
Technology is.
I don't know how you would quantify that, but I feel like I hear about this guy once a week. And Benedict, and what was the one before him?
Pope John Paul.
John
the
Paul.
second.
For a while.
Yeah, you never heard from that guy.
Yeah, you did. Pope John Paul was everywhere. He was all
He was
over the news.
huge.
He was massive. He was a
It's fair to say
superstar.
that the majority of religions love attention, especially the heads of the states.
Yeah,
How many interviews per pope?
I just know that in social media, this Pope's like on Twitter.
How many?
Yeah.
golf
Oh, he tweets all
rounds?
the time.
How many golf
Yeah,
rounds
he's
has he had?
Modern Pope.
Also, my dad responded.
What did he say?
He said, so this was at my grade school graduation. And he said, yes, he was screaming that someone had blocked in his BMW in the parking lot. And he would have the car towed if it was not moved in 2 minutes. I was explaining his lack of empathy and respect for the event. And what a flaming asshole he was.
Oh, that's awesome. Good for your dad too. Like this, he just fought him because he was being a prick.
Yeah.
It had nothing to do with anything of substance that he was saying. Just this guy's a jerk. He has no sense of the moment.
He did have a BMW. I forgot about that.
That's
As my grade school was shutting down.
Hey, Father, nice sermon, but I got like, what's happening, bro? Like you being an asshole right now.
Yeah.
dude, pulling up to the church school that you run in a BMW, just wild.
Living at the rectory. Yeah.
Shit.
I guess you don't spend any money on rent or mortgage, right?
No.
Well, no, but then you spend 80 grand on a BMW.
Yeah, but I mean, you're saving.
Wait, do priests live at the church?
Yeah, at Catholic churches, they live.
There's like a house next
Yeah,
door to
they live in the house
Really?
next door. Yep.
they live rent free in God's head?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not a bad gig, actually.
I
Wait,
did not
yeah.
know that.
Yeah. They live at the rectory.
Nuns live at the.
And the nuns live wherever
together.
too. Yeah, at the convent.
Maybe we just next time, maybe we should install some sort of a program for anybody that is currently without a home to just enroll in seminary. Get to live in a church.
If you Catholic.
Yeah, you can convert, right?
Yeah.
Well, but, but you're limiting like Protestant churches. You don't live at the church.
What is the what's the process like for converting?
To Catholicism?
Yeah.
Do
If I wanted to become a Catholic one week and then a Jewish person the next week, and then after that I wanted to become a Protestant, and then I wanted to become a Muslim, and then a Buddhist, and then back to being a Catholic.
Protestant, you could do right here in about 30 seconds.
Catholic, you do something called an RCIA,
RC, what's that?
an Rite of Christian Initiation for Adults class. So it's like Sunday school you basically take for a year, and then you get baptized
Do you have-
and confirmed probably if you're an
You
adult.
have to take a test?
No, I think maybe a quiz during the classes, but then you get baptized.
Do you have to interview with the priest? Because I know that when people get married in the Catholic Church, the
Yeah.
priest has to
You have to have
talk
it.
to you. Yeah, I wonder if you could bounce back and forth between Mormonism,
Well,
Catholicism.
so then Mormons, you get sealed in the temple. That's what they do. And then, I mean, Jewish is, I think, the hardest to convert to.
Mm-hmm.
Also, then you aren't Jewish by blood.
Right. Not. I guess that's a bad choice of words. Not a Jewish person, but you are practicing
Judaism.
Judaism. Yeah.
I know that's I think a several year process is to convert to Judaism. And then
And Protestantism, like Big T said, you declare that Jesus Christ is the Savior.
Mm-hmm.
And then could you pour this body armor on my head?
I wouldn't do that. I would say baptism is not necessary for salvation, but highly encouraged.
Okay.
Like if someone got saved on their deathbed but wasn't baptized, I would say that's still salvation.
That's fine.
yeah.
How often can you get rebaptized? So can you become a Protestant and then break the rules and then you...
I think if you were an adult and you were like, I was baptized when I was 12, but I have reaffirmed my faith, you could do it again.
Could you reaffirm your faith every Monday morning?
I maybe if you kept going to different churches, I don't know.
It
Yeah.
says that there's no limit on how many times you can change your religion.
At some point, do you think the same preacher would be like, I think you've had enough. Like,
Yeah, probably if you were going to the same one over and over.
yeah, you're not learning anything. Try
Yeah.
something new.
It says there's over 4,000 organized religions.
Really? That's a lot.
Yeah, define organized.
I would have guessed.
Are they including cults?
I would have guessed
It
like
says-
26.
It says according to some estimates, there are roughly 4,200 religions, churches, denominations, religious bodies, faith groups, tribes, cultures, movements. or
Oh,
ultimate
okay. So
concerns.
that's not religion.
We're
Anything-
talking crystal healers at some point in here.
The main ones that you're not going into like different sects. There are 12.
When was the last time we had a good schism?
What's a schism?
When like a church
Breaking
splits.
off.
Because there are a lot of schisms that happen that we don't talk about because they're just like kooks that start their new thing and nobody follows them. When was the last time there was a good, honest to God schism?
When did the you watched the movie on the Duggars, right?
Yep.
When did that guy start?
Oh, the IBLP.
Yeah,
Was that?
He
I want to say the 50s, maybe.
1961.
Okay.
not too long ago.
But there also says that there was schisms.
That's not really like a
In
denomination.
2022.
Yeah, because nobody
He was
really
just
started to follow.
He was just kind of a nut job.
Yeah.
Well, he's got enough nut jobs under him. This one says 2022 there was a schism, 2018, but I don't think these are like ground-shattering, huge ones. Like Diocese of the Southern Cross, formed by conservative Anglicans who left the Anglican Church of Australia in 2022.
And nothing happened.
I mean, you didn't hear about it till right now.
No, I didn't.
I'm not in tune with the Australian church though.
It also said this might be America, Global Methodist Church formed by conservative Methodist left the United Methodist Church in 2022.
I'd be curious to read more about that.
Yeah, I want to know more about beefs between specifically the Protestant branches, the Protestant churches.
That's Big T's bag.
Like which churches that are considered Protestant have like the biggest rivalry?
Um,
I feel like the Methodists are
well,
always brought up.
Methodist is very procedurally close to Catholicism, just with Protestant beliefs.
So it's Catholic light.
When you go, if you're a Catholic and you go to a Methodist church, it would be like, this reminds me of a Catholic church.
Okay.
For the most part, the beliefs are different.
It's like you do the procedures, but you have half the guilt.
sure.
It's like going to a frozen yogurt stop. Like
Yeah.
it kind of tastes like ice cream,
yeah,
but it's not all the calories.
right.
Okay.
I don't know of any rivalries really. Like Baptists maybe have a rivalry with like everyone,
Yeah.
kind of.
Isn't every religion rivaled with everyone?
Well, right, but he's saying different denominations of Christians.
So wait, in certain Protestant
But-
churches, if you go to a Baptist church, and then your friend goes to a Lutheran church, do you think that your friend in the Lutheran church is going to go to hell
No,
Yes.
because they're not a Baptist?
no.
So why?
Wait, why not? Why wouldn't they?
I think most of the differences in denominations of Protestantism are like very minor for the most part.
But you still think everybody that's a Protestant saved?
If you believe in that Jesus is your savior, died for your sins, yeah.
Just some of them like to do more like formal procedures. and
Yeah,
things
there's
like that.
different all sorts of little things. Like I don't know what the Lutheran doctrine is specifically, but I mean, it's not like the Bible's any different.
Okay, all right. So just different interpretations are studied.
Right, like
Under those different ones.
my family all went to a Nazarene church, which up until might still be, but in the, when my grandma was growing up was like the strictest you could get. Like couldn't wear pants, couldn't go to movies, you couldn't dance, stuff like that.
You couldn't wear pants?
Women.
Women couldn't wear pants.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's like things like that, like how strict you want to be, basically.
Interesting.
But then, yeah, it's all you wouldn't believe that, Baptist is the only way to heaven.
what about the Pentecostals?
Those are the snakes.
Snakes.
Yeah, so I'm not as familiar with them. My cousin went to a church one time where they did snake handling.
Really?
Yeah.
What was that like?
He said it was really interesting. They actually, the church he went to, I believe the New York Times wrote an article about the guy. It was in La Follette, Tennessee.
So was it just the preacher that would handle the snakes, or would they pass the snakes around?
I'm not sure.
Okay, I'm reading about it right now. Snake handling, it's a religious rite observed in small number of isolated churches in the United States, usually characterized as rural. It began in the early 20th century in Appalachia and plays a small part of the church service. Participants are either holiness or Pentecostals. So, yeah, it looks like it started in 1910 under this one guy, George Went Hensley of Grasshopper Valley, southeastern Tennessee. So he apparently started this, although some people say actually there was another guy that was handling snakes earlier, but it seems like Hensley is the originator of it. And historians agree that Hensley's advocacy, leadership, particularly his personal charisma, were important factors in advancing the Pentecostal snake handling and spreading it through the United States. So yeah, I guess I don't know. It's not really explaining why they handle snakes. I assume it has something to do with Satan and the Garden of Eden.
No, it's all based on one verse that says like, through Christ you can handle serpents and not be harmed.
So
that shit.
So they're regular snakes? Are they poisonous?
Nah,
I
I
think
bet
they're
they not poisonous.
I think they're real snakes.
I don't think so, bro. I ain't got no motherfucking king cobras in that bitch. I bet you pull up in one of those. That whole shit goes to shambles real fast.
Okay, here's the verse. It's Luke 10:19. Behold, I give unto you power to tread on serpents and scorpions and over all the power of the enemy, and nothing shall by any means hurt you.
Now that would be fun to do. I'll show up to that service. Have somebody bring like a king cobra or like a black diamond rattlesnake or whatever the fuck they're called. And then let's just test this theory out. This is very testable. You know what I'm saying? Now I'm in. You know what I'm saying? If you can handle these motherfuckers and not be harmed, you might have a constituent.
Just see if they're about it.
I want to see what you talk about is true, man. I want to see this all powerful shit happen. Let's do it.
And these signs, this is Mark 16, 17, 18. I guess what is that chapter 16, verse 17, 18. Churches that practice snake handling and drinking poison as a demonstration of the strength of their faith during worship services frequently describe themselves with the phrase, with sign following. And this is the quote, and these signs shall follow them that believe. In my name shall they cast out devils. They shall speak with new tongues. They shall take up serpents. And if they drink any deadly thing, it shall not hurt them. They shall lay hands on the sick and they shall recover. That's like the faith healing stuff. They're also saying you can drink poison and be fine and speak in tongues. Speaking in tongues is wild.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen somebody do that?
Some of the funniest shit. That's the funniest shit in the world, actually.
So what is actually happening when somebody's speaking in tongues? They enter like a strange abnormal brain state and they just say whatever sounds come to the tip of their tongue.
Yeah, it's gibberish. And it's supposed to be like some, I don't know, ancient vibes they're getting or whatever the fuck. I don't know, actually.
So,
what is
let the spirit flow through you?
Yeah.
So
Kind of, yeah.
it says the part of the brain that normally makes them feel in control has essentially been shut down. Another notable change was increased in activity in the parietal region, the part of the brain that takes sensory information and tries to create a sense of self and how you relate to the world. A person experiencing religious ecstasy or a trance utters incomprehensible sounds that they believe are a language spoken to them through a god or a deity.
So part of their brain actually does
Shut down.
change as they enter that state.
I say cap. I would like to see that study. Send that to the group.
Well, it's not necessarily real, but
That's what they're saying happens?
that's what they're saying. That's how they're saying it causes people to do that, is that the part of your brain that you feel in control with goes to sleep.
Kind of like you're blacked out.
Yeah.
It's a spiritual blackout.
Yes, and then you just speak.
Then you speak. I
Arian.
think Mincy might speak in tongues occasionally.
Jamie Coots, the pastor of the Full Gospel Tabernacle in Middlesboro, Kentucky, was handling a rattlesnake during a service when he was bitten on his right hand Saturday night. But when the ambulance arrived at 8:30, the EMS team found that Coots had gone home. Middlesboro Police Chief Jeff Sharp told ABC News that according to people at the church, Coots verbally refused treatment at the church. He said Coots was unconscious when he got to his house. When the ambulance crew arrived at Coots' home, his wife, Linda, signed a form declining medical treatment. And he died.
God damn.
So they're using real snakes.
He ain't using no snakes no more. That shit's silly,
That's
bro.
true. That was in 2014.
That's adding insult to injury, because it's not like you died proving that your thing about snakes was real. You died proving that either your thing about being immune to snake poison was completely fake, or that you weren't even a real Christian.
Yeah.
Because in his theory, if you're a real Christian, that poison should not affect your body. So he really just cemented his legacy there.
Say what you want. He believes.
He believed it, yeah.
Yeah, I ain't gonna take that from him. Yeah, he definitely believed.
So after this guy died, his followers could be like, he was a fraud because he died of the snake poison.
Yeah, I don't know how
Even
that
though
works.
you were doing the least fraudulent thing possible, which is handling a deadly snake and then refusing medical treatment.
So
And then
he was about that shit. It's just the shit he was about wasn't really about that shit.
Yeah.
Sometimes you're going to get got, but he's going to get his more than he's going to get got, though.
So there are some churches where you drink strychnine too.
That's wild.
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine, bro. I couldn't suspend my reason to that extent. There's no way I could do that, dog. Shout out to Buddy, man.
Well, there's a guy who actually runs the Church of the Lord Jesus, which is a Signs Pentecostal denomination in Appalachia, and his name is Buddy Jewell. His real name is Rufus Buddy Jewell, and he handles timber rattlesnakes for every sermon.
Rufus Buddy
Jewell. That is some Appalachia shit right there.
That's some all-time name right there. Now he handles real rattlesnakes.
Yeah,
I know a lot of time like those, circus acts type dude, they'll like bleed the venom out of the snakes.
Yeah.
So that could be a thing too.
And Big T, what was the name of your guy that you just talked about?
Something Coots.
Okay, there was another guy. This was, I think, in 2012, who was a church in Appalachia named Mac Walford. And Mac Walford got bitten by a yellow timber rattlesnake outside Bluefield, West Virginia. It took 11 hours to die, and he refused to seek medical help. Wolford's own father was also a serpent handler, and he died in 1983 from a snake bite.
I think if you get into serious trouble with the snake, you can't get medical treatment. That'd be more of a fraud than dying.
Yeah, especially
like you show up to church the next Sunday and be like, the Lord brought me the EMS team.
Yeah.
Like, I guess you could say that.
the Lord gave me Benadryl.
Right. But the people will have turned.
Yeah, I think what you have to do is you have to like put on a disguise, like you're sneaking into like a porn theater or something, and go to the hospital. Like, I hope nobody sees me here.
I
I'm
wonder
wearing a
if
trench coat.
At any point in time, like from his bite to the symptomatic issues that started to arise, that like, you might die. Like, was there any part of his faith that wavered? Like, I don't know about this one, man. Like, I'm supposed to be all right. I hope I'm gonna be all right. And then your heart stops. There has to be some kind of like, I'm not sure if this is all right, though.
I don't know. If you do die, you're probably like, well, at least I get to go meet God. I don't know, but this guy's dad died handling a snake when the son was 15 years old. His father was a preacher. He died. And then fast forward like 30 years, and then he dies handling a snake that bites him. That family's just cursed. They just got bad luck.
Kennedy curse, man.
Bad luck, yeah. They're snake bit. I don't know what's going on.
Nah, man.
Okay, so a little housekeeping here, a little pointing towards the future and what our schedule is going to look like for Memorial Day weekend. We're going to have a show on Tuesday, just like normal. We're not going to be in the office next Monday. So what we're going to do is this week we're going to do a voicemail only episode for next Tuesday to come out the day after Memorial Day. So we want you guys to call in. I was thinking if you guys had any good riddles. It's a big fan of riddles over here. I think Big T likes riddles too.
I could do with or without, but I'm not anti.
I'd like to hear some riddles from people and see if we can figure them out or at least just talk about it. What's your favorite riddle, Big T?
That's a good question.
I'm actually shit at riddles.
You're not good?
Nah, man, I've never really because it's like so specific. It's so the cryptic words. It's just like an inside joke. If you don't know every single thing about, I don't know. It can be anything. I don't know. It just gets.
What's black and white and red all over?
Well, newspaper. That's old.
You nailed it.
Yeah.
What about this one, Arian? So, a father and son are driving in a car, and they're driving down a road.
Okay. And
they get into a terrible, terrible car accident. The dad dies upon impact. The son is severely injured, and the ambulance comes. They take the son to the hospital. They wheel him into the operating room, and they bring the doctors in, and the surgeon comes in, and the surgeon says, "I can't operate on this boy. He's my son." What happened?
See, this is what I'm talking about. This is why I hate riddles. It's so fucking stupid.
Nah, you're a bad liberal if you don't get this.
That could be. I'm not a liberal at all, Big T. I mean, this is going on like 3 years now.
All right, you know what we're doing.
It's actually, I think, 4 years.
Yeah, it's like 4 years now, bro. You gotta wrap this shit up, G. But I don't know. Is that nigga his stepdad? Could have been stepdad. This is what I'm saying.
Nah, they're gonna cook you, bro. You're gonna get cooked.
It's fine. I don't know. This is what I'm saying. It's just it's dumb to me because it's like, wait, hold on.
The woke mob is coming to your house.
Ask the question again. Maybe
all right. So
stupid shit like you don't pay attention to the question. Go ahead.
A father and son are driving in a car down a road. They get into a bad car accident.
Right.
The father dies upon impact.
Okay.
The son is severely injured. The son gets taken to the hospital.
Okay.
They wheel the son into the operating room, and the surgeon comes in, and the surgeon says, "I cannot operate on this boy. He is my son." What happened?
Well, again, it's stupid. And I don't know what happened.
Take his lib card.
Yeah, we're gonna have to hand over your lib card, Arian.
Go ahead.
Arian burned his lib card like it was the draft, like 15 years ago.
And your feminist card.
Your feminist card. The doctor's a woman, Arian.
Oh, fuck.
The doctor is the mom.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Is that too strange
how
of a
they get
concept for you to understand, Arian?
I mean,
Harrison Butker.
yeah. So when you think of,
Look at that.
well, she should be cooking and she shouldn't be operating on that.
She would be more fulfilled if she was actually.
She should be operating on that pork tenderloin, not her son.
If she was making the bed in the hospital for him.
That would make sense. I cannot give this boy an IV because he's my son. No, I do. When I hear doctor, I do think, man, that is some residual misogynistic.
Woke mob, go get him.
Yeah, cultural shit that goes on in my head. That's for sure. Yeah. Okay, it got me.
So we can learn and grow from these riddles.
So absolutely, we can all grow from these riddles. You're right. Right.
So yeah, if you have any riddles, send them in, or just other questions in general.
That's kind of fucked up because I was like, yeah, it's his stepdad, obviously.
Yeah.
Obviously, another man has got to operate.
You know, I noticed nobody did a female pilot voice earlier either.
The dads are gay. There's two dads.
True. That's true.
Yeah. What would the female pilot voice be?
I mean, honestly, I don't know that I've ever had a female
As you're
pilot.
crashing.
Oh Jesus.
Big T.
You can leave that in.
Yeah, we're leaving that in.
Connor.
Connor. Oh, she just went Connor on you. I don't think I've ever heard Mad Dog go first name on
Me
you.
neither. Arian still doesn't know it's my name.
I am. It's starting to sink in. It's coming along slowly. I just don't look at you and see Connor, bro. It's weird.
Yeah.
I don't look at Eric and see Eric.
Well,
Yes, you do.
Yeah,
you
you
call
do.
him Eric more than PFT.
That's more in jest. I do that to fuck with him because I know he doesn't like it from certain people. I don't know if he likes it from me or not. Actually, I've never.
No,
asked this.
I don't mind it. I don't mind
Okay.
it at all.
Okay, cool. Yeah. But I look at him, I see PFTs. In my phone is PFT, not Eric.
Respect.
Respect.
Yeah, I got a missed FaceTime from Arian last night, and I felt bad because I thought maybe he was on the dozen and needed me for something. And then I thought, well, maybe he's not on the dozen. Maybe he's just faded.
And that was the case. I was faded. But it was also for a good cause. He has the hiccup trick. And we both had the hiccups, me and my friend that was here. And I couldn't get rid of the hiccups. And just had to suffer all night because you didn't answer. So good job.
Should I do the hiccup trick right now?
Well, I know it sober, but I was faded. So
Okay, got it.
yeah,
Got it.
I couldn't remember. I was just holding my breath.
Maybe I'll tease that for Tuesday. I will give you the 100% cure for the hiccups again on Tuesday. It's been probably a couple of years since I said it.
I don't think I
Okay
know.
Next
with that.
Tuesday.
Yeah, not everybody knows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Next Tuesday.
It is Tuesday.
It is Tuesday right now, so I'm saying next Tuesday.
I know.
We will
I actually
be
forgot
waiting
this show
Tuesday.
comes out on Tuesdays and Thursdays earlier today.
Sometimes I do
Legit.
too, because we tape it Mondays, Wednesdays, so I always think of it as a Monday show.
The show occurs to me on Monday and Wednesday.
You listen to it on Monday.
Yeah.
You listen to it a day early.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of sick.
Well, if you're in the central and farther west time zone, you can listen to it on a Monday. If you think
Mountain?
about it.
Mountain time
and
zone?
specific,
Specific time zone?
Mhm.
The specific time zone?
because it'll come out at like 10 p.m.
What states are in the specific time zone?
Did I say specific?
Yeah.
Oh. Pacific.
That's
on me.
I think specific is on the Mount Rushmore of words that kids mispronounce.
And spaghetti. That's on there.
Yes, Piscetti, Library,
Mm.
Valentine's.
Valentine's.
You have good ones.
What else am I missing? Opposed to instead of supposed to.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen the baby that wants to go to the Four Seasons
In Orlando.
Orlando?
No.
Oh, it's so funny. The mom's like, it's a TikTok, and the mom's like, who wants to go to the Four Seasons in Orlando? And like her children, the baby is like,
Baby's like a year old.
yeah, and he's like, me, and like raises his hand, and everybody's just like, he's basically a full-grown adult as a baby.
People are dubbing the baby's voice and making it seem like he's from like the 1800s England. It's being like, Mother, I would love to go to the Four Seasons Orlando.
Okay, I'm gonna look it up.
Yeah,
but we will see you guys on Thursday. Topic for Thursday. Do we want to solidify it right now? There's a couple out there that we've discussed.
Yeah, I don't think we. Was it the? I don't remember.
We're gonna do Seth. We're gonna do Seth at some point with KB. I don't know if that's gonna be this week, but he wants to talk about Seth from the Bible.
I feel like if he could, it would make sense because we just did all religious talk today. But I have my vote. But
We
I'm
could do.
always down with some biblical talk. Love the Bible, man.
So we're either gonna do Seth, Sigmund Freud, or we're gonna get into the dirty bowels of private equity and some conspiracies that are actually happening right now.
I think we do that one this week and then the other two the next two.
Okay,
so we just line those up.
sounds good. Yep.
Also, our first golf video is out.
Yes, check it out right now. It's on the Macrodosing YouTube page on Rumble. It's on social media. Big T and Arian go golfing. And Big T, how'd it go? Do you want to give anything away?
The first few holes went very well.
Oh, it was amazing.
The problem is there are 18,
That is a problem.
which is entirely too many,
That is a
first of
problem.
all. By the time you get to like 14, I'm so done. The last four, golf needs to be 14 holes.
Yeah, I agree.
But no, some of the holes are awesome.
Yeah, we had a great time. I was struggling with my driver towards the end, and it showed. And it showed. So, but it's always good hanging out with the homie. You know what I mean?
It was a good time.
But yeah, so that's out. So please watch
I'm
that.
told it's funny. I haven't seen it.
It's
I haven't seen
very
it yet
silly.
either.
It's very funny.
I'm gonna peep it. Shout out to Maddie.
Shout out to Mackenzie. But yeah, that's all I've got.
All right, sounds good. We'll see you guys on Thursday.
Ooh.
Love you guys.